Poor men set out on a pilgrimage for the Holy Land, hoping to achieve fame and fortune. Led by an inexperienced lord, they encounter a frightening force that threatens to tear them from their journey. J.W. Davis is here to tell us about a vampire tale unlike any you've ever read. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I was getting all into that. You know, I wanted to just keep going.
Oh, you can go right ahead.
Yeah, so tell me, how long have you been publishing? I have one of your vampire stories here.
I've been publishing since 2001. That's when our first book came out. It was called Torpedo. We've published, this is now our 11th title, and I try to put out at least one new title every year, more if I can help it.
Wow. And we were just talking, it's very interesting, you also have an online component.
We do. Most of our printed comics are just one-shot issues. They're self-contained stories. But what we're doing on the website is trying to put at least one new chapter or one new self-contained story on the website. And that's something we do at the first of every month.
And you say self-contained because usually it's like, you know, several books, right, and you're like, oh my gosh, right at the end, you don't know what's next, and then you have to wait for the next one.
Right,
every Wednesday.
Actually, a lot of times, as an independent publisher, a small press publisher like me, it's hard to get the books out in any kind of reasonable, regular time frame. So instead, what we're doing is putting out self-contained stories, and that way you get your full dose of the story. You don't have to wait. There's not an issue 2 a lot of times. There's other stories that are related. There's crossovers, and you can get more of the same characters, but you don't have to wait like, where's my issue 2? So that way you just get a wider variety of story. You don't have to wonder. You don't have to wait for months and months.
Okay, now, I mean, I think this is cutting edge because you were telling me that you do it in digital. That's different, that's new, that's the next level.
It is. I think that's probably where the industry is headed. You have two different things with this particular comic. You can get it in a printed format or a digital format. The printed book is just your standard paper comic like you find on the shelf at any comic book store. The digital version of the book is a PDF file, and that way there's no print costs, there's no shipping costs, and that lowers the cost to the consumer. You can actually buy it on the website for $1.
I mean, we've seen this with books, but you know, I don't know if I've heard of comic books.
E-comic book, I guess.
You know, yeah, I was just telling him how he's like, you know, George Lucas brought film to digital, and you know, it changed the whole industry. So you think this is going to change everything? I
hope so. I definitely think that especially around Memphis, there's a lot of comic book stores that have closed. We don't have as many comic stores here as we used to. And I think with the younger generations being much more internet savvy, I think that this is something where a lot of our comic book readers are going to get their fix.
Awesome. Well, okay, we have a lot of information to put on the screen. So, Vampire Crusade, 11th comic title from local creator, as you just met, J.W. Davis, One Shot Productions online and listed comic stores. You can get it at oneshotproductions.com. So that's where you can get this. And then you can buy Vampire Crusade at Comic Cellar. That's on Austin P. But you know, once again, you can go right online if you need. Then there's the Comics and Collectibles. That's another location.
Right on Poplar.
4700 block of Poplar, suite number 2. So the little shout out or two for some of your comic book peeps. So congratulations. One quick question: how did you get the inspiration?
Oh gosh, I like vampires. There's certainly been 100 different vampire stories, and I really wanted to do something different. So we've got a character, he's got a very distinct look, he's all scarred up looking. You can actually get a peek of him on the website. But I wanted to really bring something new to the genre. There's certainly a lot of the same old as we've seen out there. And I just wanted to see what new something new we could unearth with this kind of story.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Should I be